right, let's go. We back live with the Misguided Podcast, where we're trying to guide you in the right direction towards a better future. We have my business partner Joziah Mallet online as our first guest. He was supposed to be in here live with us, but we weren't able to get a third mic because of all the delays in shipping and everything.
Amazon is only shipping medicine right now.
so we had to have him call in. So introducing my business partner Joziah Mallet.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Always. So, kind of, let's let the audience know. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your entrepreneurship, kind of where it all began. Give us the backstory.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's where my entrepreneurial, spirit began back in like 7th grade. I would sell LeBron James bubblegum because he was in all the 6th grade. LeBron James was like the new big thing, so everybody wanted everything LeBron, and I would buy packs of LeBron James bubblegum and sell each individual piece for like 50 cents a piece. And people were buying it. I was turning a crazy profit. I was going and did it with candy. I was like burning the CDs, everything. And then once I graduated college, I started working for Coca-Cola, and that's where I met. Me and Mike met in college, but that's where we kind of started the real entrepreneurial side. I was working for Coke as a business development manager, but started doing the tour on the side just to make the most of my free time. So we started renting cars out, realizing that it worked, bought another car, realizing that it's still working, bought more cars. So that kind of started the Turo side hustle with First Impressions LLC. And then Mike introduced me to another side hustle with Airbnb. So I started renting out rooms in my apartment and eventually started to cover my entire rent. So I started doing this tour on the Airbnb in 2018. Made a lot of money, just kept it going. So that kind of started it. Now I'm looking into other things, looking into more long-term investment with real estate. So that's kind of where I'm at with my entrepreneurship ground right now.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's big. That's big. I know you you're able to do big things with Turo and with Airbnb. And I know that you're big on investing as well. So talk a little bit about the couple or the few investment accounts that you have. I know you're doing something really dope with your money market account too, and kind of putting people on to the way you're saving in that aspect too. I always thought it was a really cool concept because it's a way that anybody can start saving regardless of if they're an entrepreneur or not. So kind of just go into a little bit of your investments and ways that you save, ways that you keep your cash flow going passively.
Yeah. So while I have a couple of different investment accounts, I had some 401k accounts first with Coca-Cola, and I have it set so even with times like this where the market is down, my investments are still pretty much staying consistent. I have moderate growth 401k accounts, and I also have a Roth account that's pre-tax. So those have been growing well, but a lot of people are like don't have the option for a 401k. They just have cash sitting in their rooms or sitting in the shoebox or something like that.
Right.
And I tell them to look at their credit union and look at the money market account because unlike a CD, a certificate deposit account, you can still have access to your money. And with my money market account, just by having my money in this account, I'm having a higher interest rate than like the 0.1% that you get with the regular savings account.
Break that down for us. Who's your money market account through, and kind of what percentages are we looking at?
Yeah. So with the telco, they have a special going, and they still do it often. With the money market accounts, where if you join, they'll give you a blended rate of like 3%. Up to like $5,000, and then once it gets over that $5,000, the rate becomes blended. So it'll go down to like 2.2, and then once it gets over like $10,000, it goes down to like 2%. But still, 2% interest over on 10K plus is a pretty good return over the course of a year. Last year alone, that one account gave me close to like $280. Just by having it in there. I didn't have to do a single thing. I could take it out whenever I wanted. It wasn't.
That's what I was gonna ask. So it's literally just a savings account, like you know how we have through Wells Fargo, but theirs is 1%, pretty much growth.
Not even 1%. It's like
It's
point.
at
It's like
point-
0.1%.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's like a penny to fucking every 1,000.
Right.
But so your stuff is just growing better with the Patelco rate, right? And you're not doing anything. You could still access it at any time you want. Stuff like that, right?
Yeah, completely. It's completely liquid. It's not tied up. When I say liquid, I mean you can use your money whenever you want. But CDs, a lot of times they'll give you that 3% interest, but you can't use any of that money for 24 months or 36 months CD. But with the money market, your money is completely liquid. You can still access it. You can add to it. You can take from it however you want to manage it. Compared to like a 401k, you can't touch that money either until you're 59 and a half.
Yeah, otherwise it's just a penalty. Yeah, definitely.
How's your money market account been doing the last month?
Last month I haven't saw a dividend payout from this month yet. I'm interested to see, because that's when a lot of the crazy stuff happened with March. But for February, still consistent. That same about $25 dividend that they they pay you out happens every time. So it's been really consistent.
That's so dope.
It's always been from 17 to 25 or so.
Yeah, definitely. That's
really
something
dope.
I definitely wanted to shout out, just because a lot of people, a lot of people think that you have to have money to, or you have to take risks to invest. And a money market account is a way that you're not taking any risk. It's just a way that you're just putting your money into what's essentially a savings account, but it's growing way faster than a traditional savings account that you would have with your traditional bank. So,
Exactly.
Exactly. If you don't have any extra expendable money to purchase stocks or put into an investment portfolio, that's something easy that you can do. Like Joziah said, just in a year, he was able to grow his money market account almost $300 by doing literally nothing. That's $300 at the end of the year by literally doing nothing, that you could go ahead and
invest in something else.
Yeah, and then once you get that money at the end of the year, go ahead and put that into some higher risk stocks.
Yeah.
And turn that $300 to $600 next year, turn that into $1,200 next year, and just keep compounding
till you get a down payment for a house.
Man,
exactly. Josiah's about real estate.
Exactly. That's the stuff that you can start doing no matter what age you are. If you're in high school, if you're in college, and
high school would be perfect.
Exactly. You start that money market account when you're a freshman in high school, and then let's see what it is when you're 22 and you graduated college. Let's see how much it is there. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff that anybody could start doing, especially when you're young. So I just wanted to shout that out, because there's always ways for people to invest, always ways for people to grow their money, regardless if you have a high salary, if you're a student, this and that. So that's why I wanted to make sure we touched on that with Joziah real quick.
For sure, man. Well,
and one more thing to touch on with that is how a lot of people think that, I don't have $2,000 to just put into a money market account. When I started saving for that account was literally just saving $6 the first week. So at the beginning of, I think, 2017, I started this thing where I saved $6 and then I added $6 each week on top of that. So the first week I paid myself $6, and then the next week I paid myself $12. The next week after that I paid myself $18. The next week after that I paid myself $24. And at first it wasn't growing that quickly, but it was building consistency.
It's that snowball effect.
Yeah.
It's that snowball effect.
Exactly.
Facts. That's damn, man.
Going.
Once you put yourself on that routine, go ahead.
I don't know, in the year it ended up being like $10,000 for me. It cost like $10,000. Just paying myself my saving money, putting away like that $6 turned into like $300 to pay out one week, and it just grew like exponentially. Like it grew really fast, and I was just putting all that money into the money market account.
Man.
I didn't really feel that money growing, and then it was paying dividends on top of the money that I was paying myself.
Yeah, that's super smart. That's smart. And you're saying you were just doing that every week.
Every week.
So that's super easy. He was paying himself $6 every week, and just by compounding, and that's just money that he's paying himself. That's not money that he's gaining dividends on. That's just him saying, hey, instead of buying a $6 coffee on Tuesday, I'm gonna put that $6 into my money market account. And each day and each week he's just doubling that. and eventually got
He's
him
investing in himself.
investing in himself.
The number one most important thing you can do is invest in yourself. Wouldn't you
that's
agree?
smart, man. That's super smart.
Right, we pay bills anyway. We might as well treat paying ourselves like paying the bill. If I gotta pay a bill, I might as well pay myself a little bit first and then pay these bills.
Isn't that what all the billionaires say? Pay yourself first.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep, man. I respect it, dude. Thank you for sharing that. And people, look into money market accounts and start investing. You know, we always talk about it. Start investing. You want to talk about any other investments that you have? Do you invest in stocks, anything short term, or are you all long term? What's your investment strategy?
I'm not a broker. I'm not too knowledgeable on the stock market, so my investments in the stock market right now are through this app called Acorns. I'm sure you all have. If not, talked about it yet.
Yeah, we had a whole episode about it. They need to sponsor us.
Right.
Oh yeah. We ain't gonna spend too much time on that then. But yeah, I do a little. I put money into Acorns just to kind of see how it really how the stock market works.
Acorns a good thing to test the market with like penny money instead of, because the 401k, that's where your big bucks are really. And then it's like Acorns is like
that's where you want to put like $1,000 in and let that grow. Let that keep compounding. You know what I'm saying?
You could like test your different strategies that you want to take and your different approaches. Like me and Mike, we're both moderate,
yeah. We have a moderate aggressive setting, yeah.
I don't know what you are, but it's kind of like I'm learning to test it, then kind of you change it to conservative and see how it does over the last couple of years and stuff. So, Acorns.
How have y'all been as moderate aggressive over this month?
Man, mine over this month, I'm down about $300. So I was hitting, because we were in that bull market we've been in a bull market for the past decade pretty much, but I was up to around $1,300, a little over $1,300, and that's just by adding and that was over a 6-month period where I'm adding $5 a day, now I'm down to like $1,030 or something. So yeah, I'm down a little over $300 right now.
And
yeah,
I feel it.
yeah, it's dropping fast, man.
Mine is still on the aggressive, but my Acorns is like I have to never put any money towards it. It's all spare change.
Yeah, me too, bro.
Spare change.
I do the roundup as well, bro.
Got you. Yeah, mine is I do this.
Mine was only at like 170 or something like that max, but then after this weekend went down to like 106, and I have like an aggressive setting, like I lost other money.
Oh, got you, yeah.
Mine right now, I'm looking at it right now. All-time market gain and loss is minus 22.90%. So right now I'm down $121. That's just off pocket change. But when after this Corona stuff, it's gonna shoot up. We all know that. So.
Yeah, just gotta stay the course.
Yeah, man, it's crazy looking at this. Like you look at the 1 month, 1 day stuff. Like damn, in the last day it's down minus 2.3. Last month it's down minus 27%. But if you look at the other stuff, it's not down that much. So it's the Corona was really hitting the stock market.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely we know the coronavirus definitely hitting everybody hard, especially investors. But we gonna bounce back.
Speaking of that. How are you handling the adversity and stuff with your businesses? Not to mention you just had a big move down to LA. So for the listeners who don't know, Joziah just moved from the Bay to LA. He got a new job. So how are you handling everything? It seems like a lot, man.
Oh, it's a lot, but it's like a lot of things have been like a blessing in disguise, I would say. Even from as far as like moving to LA, I was skeptical on doing it just because like I have a lot of things going on up here, and pretty much my whole like last 5 years of my life has just been the Bay, 5 to 6 years or so. So I was skeptical on doing it, but it's been working out. As far as when I moved to LA, I actually sold one of my cars, not knowing that all this stuff is going to be going on with Turo and with the coronavirus. We're not able to see as many bookings on Turo right now. It's actually down to little to none. So that kind of worked out because now I have one less car to worry about, and I'm not paying for that car anymore. And it's been cool as far as like being able to work pretty much completely remote, making more money, being able to spend time with family during a time like this. So it's been working out. It's been a transition as well too, as far as learning what's most important to you, what I value the most. So as far as those things, it's been good. Me and my dog got closer. From being apart from each other for a couple of weeks now. Been talking to my family a lot more. Been working out. Been eating healthier. Everything's been working out. So it's been a lot, but I know it's gonna be. This is the fun part of it, especially right now with all the corona stuff going on. This is the thick of it. So I know it's gonna be a lot of light, a lot of hope at the end of it all.
Yeah, man, definitely. If you can, we can get through this, then it's just gonna be so much better once it's all over. If you can strive at a time like this, then it's gonna be that much better once everything's back to normal or even close to back to normal. So that's cool, man. Glad you're staying up out there.
Yeah, for real, man. It is a blessing. I've also noticed some blessings in disguise during this time, and just kind of some things that I didn't think. Like, I mean, you did mention that like Terrell has been like damn near to a dead stop, but I've had a couple cars that just I've had a couple renters who keep coming back and just renting because some of the people who are considered essential businesses in California, they still have to work and they still have to commute, and obviously right now no one wants to catch public transportation. So they've been using the car system. So obviously my car rental has definitely slowed down, but it hasn't reached a dead stop. And if it has reached a dead stop, it's probably been 1 to 3 days that no cars have been rented.
Yeah.
So it's it's just kind of another thing of learning, which me and Mike talked about before. But it's just now we're learning like how profitable this business can actually be, because we're in trying times right now and people are still relying on what we invested in.
Yeah, and that goes for a lot of business. A lot of people think that's a bad time to start a business or a bad time to be a business owner. But if you're a smart business owner, there's a lot of things you can use to your advantage, especially with a business like ours, a business like Airbnb too. There's a lot of people who are closing down the Airbnbs. A lot of people who are not allowing their cars to be rented because of the fear of the virus and the fear of spreading germs, the fear of just being out and having to exchange and talk to people and interact with people and things like that. So when people are shutting down their businesses, that's a good time for you to hop into the market, because you're gonna have less competition. And like I said, that's not just with this business. That's with a lot of other businesses too. And even with things like real estate, you got loans. The interest rate for loans being cut in half. So it's, it might be a good time for you to coming out the other side to start looking into buying property and things like that. So there's a lot of ways that people can take advantages. The most money is made in trying times. So
hey, yeah, let's I want you to talk about that, Joziah. Anything you are doing right now during the lockdown, during these trying times, maybe investing in some other things. Let's talk about real estate if you want. Are you looking to throw a down payment on a house, or anything you're doing to kind of better educate yourself? Any books you're reading, podcasts you're listening to besides us, obviously?
Man, 100%. I'm actually everything that Michael's saying about like you make your most money when times are down is 100% true. It's with anything, like the same way when people panic sell stocks. The people that panic sold those stocks, they're losing. But the people that bought them are winning because they panic sold. The people that panic and close their Airbnb, people like you and Mike are going to capitalize on it, because now y'all Airbnbs are getting more bookings. The same thing with the cars. They're not renting out their cars. People are still going to book them. So it's the same thing. Somebody else is going to capitalize. And right now, what I've been doing is researching even more the real estate market, because right now it's crazy deals. Like it's absolutely crazy deals. Like I was close to before all this happened. It's crazy. Like I said, it's like a blessing in disguise. My brother and I were about to purchase our first investment property back in Milwaukee before all this happened, and that deal kind of fell through. And at first it was like we were upset about it, but now it's like a blessing because
it's way cheaper.
The amount of money, the amount of money we was going to use for that property there we'll be able to get something out here now.
Yeah.
California's real estate market is way more lucrative as far as your equity right away. Like there, you probably get more cash flow, but in California, you gonna have equity. You gonna have, a piece of that.
You got land, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you can do that, and that's what I'm looking at here. It's not the ideal situation, but for instance, last week I saw a property in Pittsburgh in a nice area, like an actual nice part of it, and 3-bedroom, 2 bath. Every house in the neighborhood was going for maybe like $500,000 up to $600,000.
Man,
We're selling their house for $250,000.
No way. Holy, I didn't even know that existed here, bro.
That's crazy.
Bro, yes. It's in Pittsburgh, right? It's in a nice area. Every other house is getting some work, but every other house on the block was going for, like I said, upwards anywhere low 450, high 600.
Man,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
We're gonna see exactly.
I don't want no realtors. No, I want a cash deal. And that's what those type of opportunities are coming up now.
Yeah.
Even if you gotta get a hard money loan for, whatever to come up with that money.
Yeah.
It's gonna work out because you can pay. Refinance the house,
Yep.
get hard money in the bank,
Yep.
and have a house you have the deed to a house. You own that house.
Definitely.
You can't pay off your other loans. You have the deed and it's title to a house. You can go and sell it as is for a short sale for $400,000.
Yeah.
Especially in like 5 to 7 years.
Absolutely. And we'll have to go into a whole nother segment about that on a different episode. Josiah just dropped some gems about hard money loans and he dropped some gems about equity that a lot of people probably don't know about when it comes to real estate. But we're definitely going to start to see a lot more deals like that and a lot of cheap real estate coming in. And that's because that's because what has happened over this past decade as we were in a bull market. A lot of people are doing things. A lot of people were buying houses. A lot of people were taking out loans. A lot of people were maxing out their credit cards, buying cars and things like that. And now that we're going to be in a recession, people are going to have to sell up. A lot of people are going to be filing for bankruptcies and foreclosures because now they're not going to be able to pay off those debts. And that's why we're going to be seeing so many foreclosures, and that's why we're going to be seeing houses that are way cheaper, and that's why we're going to be seeing interest rates for mortgages just being slashed in half or even less than half.
Bro, it's crazy because, when you drive up to my house, it's a long-ass, hill you gotta drive up. And the last month, I've seen, 3 houses open up and go for sale.
Man.
And it's like, damn, I thought all these people were, retirement, house paid for.
Right.
I've seen 2 on the hill, and then literally the one across the street, if you walk out my front door, just opened up 3 days ago.
Man.
For sale. They dipped. They didn't even say anything. Old people, too, and I was like, damn, I wonder if, it's because of the market right now,
Well, yeah, people want to get the most that they can get for it.
Because they still got to pay property taxes on those houses, and if they're not getting no income, or if the property taxes are going up, they sell it, they move in together and paying property taxes on one house instead of all having their own individual houses. It's like everybody's going to be adapting and affected by stuff that's going on right now. That's why I'm like, I researched real estate before, but now when y'all ask the question, what am I doing now? I'm researching even more into real estate. I'm researching even more into stocks because, like I said, stocks are down. So if you're going to buy stocks, now is the time to buy it and hold it for a long time because it has to go back up, like blue collar stocks. So companies that never want to fail, like Disney stock price.
Apple, Microsoft, those type of stocks. Those are the ones to buy right now.
Amazon.
They're expensive too, but they're not as expensive. I think before, their Apple stock was definitely plus 300, and I looked and it was close to 200. It was 220 now. That was a week ago, so I don't know what it is right now. But you think about it, you got a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
Buy a couple $1,000 in stocks, and you'd be set. But yeah, man, we're definitely gonna have to call you back or have you up here for when
we're definitely gonna have to get you in here live next time for sure. Yeah.
When Amazon opens up. But yeah, man. Kind of closing, I wanna ask you, what is one of your biggest failures so far that you've learned in entrepreneurship? Because on the Misguided Podcast, we're all about sharing our success stories and our knowledge about how to succeed, but we also want to highlight and share our failures and let them know what we've done to overcome so that we can guide them. So what are some failures or your number one failure that you've learned being in entrepreneurship?
I wouldn't say anything has really been a failure. I would say more lessons, but the biggest lesson I would say I learned is just sitting on an idea too long, and not acting on it. You can always have the best plan. You can always have, it all mapped out and you see things happening this way, but something's always going to come up. And the worst thing you can do is not act on something. So my biggest thing I say I would want to learn from is like having a plan and not acting on it, trying to wait until it's absolutely perfect before I make a move on something and starting that business or, getting that car to, add to the fleet or anything like that. Just waiting too long and overthinking it and not acting on it. Probably something I would say to try to stay away from. Like, don't be out here gambling with business. You can't do that. You got to have some type of thought and map out behind it. But once you give it some good thought and you done your research and you did your due diligence, then you just go for it.
It's true.
Yep, I like that one. That's one of my biggest things that I try to preach to new entrepreneurs is you should just go for it. Fail faster, because if you're gonna fail, you might as well fail now, so that way you can move on to the next thing. If it ends up not being for you, or if it ends up being a bad idea, then you'll know now rather than waiting 2, 3, 4 years to figure out that it was a bad idea. So I definitely like that one. Yep.
Also, you're never really going to have the perfect plan. There's no such thing as the perfect plan. So if you're just waiting, trying to get the perfect plan, then you're just waiting for no reason. Like the way to build the perfect plan is to actually go through the motions and learn your ups and downs. Because as you said, there's no such thing as failure. Everything is a lesson. So if you're not actively pursuing those lessons, then you're never going to learn. And you're never going to perfect that plan that you've been waiting for. I think that's a great way to end it, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for calling in with us, man. We really appreciate your time. We're definitely going to get you live in here, man, next time.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I love everything y'all doing with this podcast, man. Keep it going. Just giving people free game that's much needed in our community, so keep going with it.
For sure. Especially for those who need it or feel like they can't do it, all three of us, young black entrepreneurs in an area where they don't really kind of guide us, I feel like this is needed, or we feel like this is needed.
Absolutely.
And it's something that we had to learn on our own. And I just think that people, especially young high schoolers, need this valuable information. So I appreciate the kind words. Shout out your Instagram, man. Where can I follow you at?
Yeah, man. The Instagram is Brewcity_Joe, BREWCITY_JO. And that's all social medias. And then my YouTube channel is Brewcity Joe TV. My last video I uploaded was tips on how to save $10,000. So
hey, so YouTube, Brewcity Joe TV. Follow him, please. He's a very smart guy, and he has a lot of valuable information to share for you guys. So we appreciate you, bro, and hope you staying safe out here.
Yep, definitely, man. Make sure you get back to LA safe. Appreciate you being on the call with us.
Yes, sir. Talk to you later, bro.
All right, later.
All righty. Our first guest.
Yep, our first guest.
Had to be an interview one. A phone interview.
Phone interview. Yep. Next time we gotta get in the studio, man. We real low budget out here now. I'm just playing.
Amazon, man, you gotta open up the at least the mics. People over here podcasting and stuff in this quarantine.
For sure. That was a good conversation though. Great guest.
Really
for sure. But let's
I kind of expected there was like he's a very close friend of ours. Very smart. We pretty much all started this at the same time, and coached each other through. So I expected nothing less from that guy.
Yeah.
Shit, we all worked at Coke. We all similar backgrounds. It's crazy. But yeah, let's move on to our hella conclusion, our guided conclusion section to end the podcast.
Yep.
So I don't remember who started last time. I think you did.
I think you started last time.
Oh.
So then I will go first this time. So, my question for you this time around is, as it pertains to your career, with with music, what's your biggest fear when it comes to the future of your career as a musician?
Lately, I've been thinking. That's a great question, by the way. Always great questions, bro. But anyways, lately I've been thinking a lot about the people who are musicians that are only musicians in trying times like this, where they earn money on touring and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of artists, not necessarily. I mean, rap artists too, but a lot of those artists who took the jump really earned their money through doing shows.
Yep.
And right now, that is impossible.
Yeah.
And so going into me wanting to, drop a 9-to-5 job and actually be all entrepreneurship and focused on music in the future, that kind of worries me because there's not really other revenues that can help artists still have an income during these times. We can talk about streaming, but streaming pays a cent a stream. Like, you can't survive off that.
Yeah, nobody.
Especially if you're not getting
off.
Billions of streams. Like, where you make your money is tours and merch. You, as an artist, you need to know that going in, right? That's where you make all your money. And right now on the lockdown, no one's buying merch. Everyone's trying to save. People just lost jobs. Why are they going to buy your clothing? You can't tour because there can't be crowds. So what are artists doing right now to survive that they don't have those Coke checks that they receive every month? They don't have those Turo checks that they receive every month. That kind of scares me for the future. So, yeah, man, I gotta stay prepared. I probably, if I do, obviously, go into something like that, just like you, I'd have a big emergency fund, probably up to a year.
Got you. So you're saying that your fear is once you're a musician, like specifically a musician, once you go into this like without like a backup, like having a full-time job or anything, you're kind of putting yourself in the shoes of somebody who doesn't have those additional sources of income.
Correct.
Got you.
It's just pretty much like making that jump to full musician and being prepared for things like this to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a great learning experience for you. Because the next time something like this comes around, you probably will be in that spot when you're doing your music full time and not having a full time job to lean on, not having medical insurance, for your
medical insurance, being
like
trapped in a contract, that's huge. I mean, you think about it, you have a label who's taking 20%, you have a manager who's taking 20%, you have shows that you already booked that you still have to pay for. Right. Those are expenses you're not getting back right now until we know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then what income do you have for you and your family to survive on? That is stuff I've been reading about. And kind of just hearing the stories of other artists. That's scary. So,
man,
definitely would be prepared.
Got you, man.
My question. What are the things you wish you could heavily invest in right now?
Real estate.
If you had... Okay. That's quick.
Real estate. If I had all the money to invest right now, I would buy as much houses as I could.
Where?
I would... Here, California.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You got to.
Right here in the Bay Area.
Would you go to New York? Or is it?
New York, I would go...
Like upstate?
Nah. I mean, obviously, I would want to eventually, but if I could invest anywhere, if I had all the money to invest, I would invest as much property as I could in California, specifically the Bay Area, the most expensive place to live in the United States, probably the world. Having land here is going to be... It's a gold mine here. You could have the ugliest house here is worth like $700,000, and that's in the ugliest house in the ugliest neighborhood is worth still worth a lot. So real estate for me.
Real estate. All right. Well, give me a little something else. What about a stock?
A stock
that you think would blow up in the next 7 years?
that I think will blow up. And I'm not the biggest expert. I know a lot more than I guess the average person does, but most of my portfolios, or I shouldn't say most, the portfolios that I do have are a mixture of a bunch of different stocks and different mutual funds. So I don't even have any specific individual stocks that I've purchased yet. But in my opinion, I would say investing in doing research on one of these pharmaceutical companies.
Preach.
That if you keep doing your research, probably look up one that you know is that is at the forefront of finding a vaccine for this coronavirus. Because once the vaccine comes out, the stocks and the value for whatever that company is, and it's not just going to be one company. There's going to be quite a few companies, pharmaceutical and biotech companies that are going to be developing these vaccines. So I would say invest in one of those. I would say airlines, the airline industry. I'm reading that if the Fed doesn't step in and provide relief, majority of airlines are going to be filing for bankruptcy by May, is what I'm reading from a lot of different articles. So I would say investing in obviously you got to do your due diligence. I'm not just going to say invest in Delta, invest in Southwest. Do your due diligence and research.
Don't invest in Spirit.
But I'm saying
they're the first ones to go. Sorry.
I'm saying
no sponsorship.
I'm saying airlines, because even though as bad as airlines are going to get, travel is essential part of our world. And I can't see the major airlines not bouncing back, because I don't know, I just feel like they have to. So those are my little gems. Like I said, I'm not a stock expert, but
you will be
just from research that I'm doing. I feel like those would be some good ones to look into.
Yes, sir. And that wraps up our guided conclusion section, where we intend to guide you to a better future. And that is the hella freaking Misguided Podcast. Nah, that's the Misguided Podcast, guys. My name is Juwan Rohan. You can follow me at Juwan Rohan Music, and you can follow.
Yep, my name is Michael Johnson, Mikey F.I. MIKEYYFI on Instagram. Hope you guys took a lot from this episode today. Hope everybody's staying safe in the pandemic, and I hope we can guide everybody to a better future.